We're gonna ask this guy about the seed that Mebeth gave us. Ah, my friend, you've returned. The trees seem to improve each day. Something you wished of me? I need some herbs sprung from a seed. Can you help me? He takes the seed from you and holds it up to his eye. What an odd seed. Are those teeth along the edge? Barbs, perhaps? Where did you come by it, friend? Old Mebet, the midwife of the square, needs some herbs sprung from that seed. You know where I could get some? No. Mourns for Trees continues to stare at the seed in his hand. This is the only seed of its kind I've ever seen. Ah! He winces, and a spot of blood glistens on his thumb. The barbs on it are sharp indeed. Perhaps you should hold it. So you can't help me either? Unless you can make that one grow, I cannot. Again, I've never seen a seed of its like before, friend. If we wanted it to grow, is it possible to make it grow? He looks at the seed. Perhaps if you cared enough to see it grow. What do you mean? This is sigil, friend. Belief is everything. Everything. From the spire on which sigil rests, to even that tiny seed you hold there. If you believe enough, anything is possible. Focus on the seed. Will it to grow. To your surprise, there is a crack, and the seed splits, twigs splitting from its surface like fingers. Instinctively, you drop the seed, but the talon-like twigs wrap around your wrist and will not let go.
Updated
What the
my
hell's?
journal.
Mourn for Trees stares at the barbed branches wrapped around your wrist, stunned. I think the barbs on those new branches would be more than enough for what your friend needs. I'll return it to her then. Thank you for your help. Farewell.
I'm gone.
Why can I not save? Huh. Weird.
I'm gone.
Okay. Head back to Mebeth.
Done. All right.
I think this was her hut. Yeah. Okay, just a second. One moment. Okay. Mebeth turns as you enter and gives you a skeptical eye. Your path brings you back here, does it, child? I returned with those herbs you wanted. Now maybe you can get this damned bramble patch off my wrist. Is that so? So? Think it off then.
Updated my journal.
Creaking and snapping, the black barbed branches unravel themselves from your wrist and form into a tangled ball of brush and twigs. It looks like a nest of dead black snakes. Mebeth snorts. Think it into a picture frame or some such, something with more structure and less angles. Concentrate on the barbed ball, then imagine it as a picture frame. The branched ball creaks, the twigs bending and twisting, until the branches have bent themselves into a small picture frame, 2 hand spans on a side. Almost unconsciously, you imagine shape the barbs to the back of the frame so it could be hung from the wall easily. And, as an afterthought, you move the remaining barbs to the inside of the frame so it can be picked up by the edges. How's that? Mevith stares at the frame for a moment, then cackles. Ha! Square enough it is. Good work, child, good work. She picks up the frame and scrutinizes it. This'll do nicely. Is that all you wanted it for? Aye, well, this is enough. She sniffs. Aye, but there was one thing I forgot to tell you to fetch when you last left. Last time. And it'll take you back to the Merchant Square. We'll look for the cloth seller. Squirrel. He has some rags of mine that he was supposed to wash. And long has it been since I first asked him to do it. I'll go get it. Very well. She's gonna have a habit of sending us back and forth places.
I'm gone.
Okay, so we're looking for this guy now. You see a spindly-looking merchant with a brush of gray and red stubble across his chin. He wears several layers of brightly colored robes, so much so that he looks like a flag with arms and legs. He is shaking slightly as you watch. Greetings. I, Squirrel. He bows and spreads his trembling hands. As he does, you notice his hands and forearms are a twisted mass of black scar tissue, as if they were once badly burned. What do you sell? How did you hurt your hands? The squirrel doesn't seem to have heard you. He answers only with his spiel, delivered in the same flat monotone. The squirrel buy cloth, sell cloth, wash cloth, mend cloth, and he gestures at his layers of clothing with his shaking hands. Wear cloth. Can I see what you have? That doesn't seem particularly useful.
All right.
I'm here to pick up someone's wash. Mebeth, the midwife, Ragpicker Square? Washcloth. He blinks. Yes, Mebeth. Ragpicker Square? Rag. Picker. He taps his fingers as if counting something. I know. I remember. He holds up a trembling finger, as if telling you to wait. He comes back with a flattened mass of green rags, thin as paper, yet so stiff they look as if they could double as wooden boards. The rags are so caked with the greenish lime starch that they look like it would take years of soaking to relax them. How many times did you clean these? Squirrel washcloth, starch cloth every 5th day, washcloth, starch cloth every 5th day. His eyes flicker. Squirrel wash many years, always starch cloth on 5th day. Squirrel's ritual. But they're ruined. Washcloth is Squirrel's ritual. His voice is flat, almost zombie-like. Must starch cloth every 5th day. What's the point of doing it every 5 days when they don't eat? Oh, never mind, just hand him over. Give cloth. He nods, then hands you the rags. They're heavy. It's like carrying an armload of bricks. I'll take them back to Mebeth now.
I'm gone. Done.
Hey,
One-
we're being watched, Chief. Just look natural.
One thing I want to check
What's up? Okay.
is if I switch between if I switch from mage back to fighter, if I'll have the exact same amount of experience, or if it'll like put me at the beginning of the level. I'm assuming it'll keep this exact same amount, but I'm not 100% sure. Mebeth seems lost in twisting the black-branched picture frame you made for her. She is squaring the edges and snapping off some of the barbed seeds on the branches. She suddenly notices you and sets down the frame. Hi, child? I brought your wash. I think Giscor was a little heavy on the cleaning ritual, though. She takes the stacks of starched green rags from you, and she examines them critically. At least they won't tear, she sighs, or bend. And what was with that cloth merchant, Giscor? His hands were all scarred, and he seemed slow. Mebeth is still turning the cloth over in her hands, tapping it with her finger. Well, child, sometimes one burns with the art, and other times the art burns ye. Is that what happened to him? She clicks her tongue. Mayhap. There's some for whose using the art is like breathing. They strolls about with pointy hats and stinkweed pipes. Then there's the hedge wizards and plain-touch gypsies and fortune casters, and half-seers and midwives who flicker with the art. Them have a harder time of it. Inkliscoral was one of them. He nods. Aye, so to speak. In some ways, he's no different now than he was. Addicted to habit and ritual, he was. She sets down the stiff rags. They clunk as she places them on the floor. Aye, now, there's one last thing I need from you, child. Of course, what do you need? Only this. I need some inks for scribing some ingredients, and one of me cookery books. I'll need you to fetch some from one of the merchants. Kosajai be your name. Alright then, I'm off. Farewell.
Updated my journal.
So, back to the market we go yet again.
Done.
He's very fond of, sending us running back and forth places.
I'm gone. Done.
So this one? This toothless old crone reeks of fish and brine. Spying your approach, she gives you a wide pink smile. Fish, my child? Fish heads, perhaps? Mebeth said you sell ink. She sent me to purchase some. Ink? She chuckles. Nay, sir, I sells no ink. Just fish. Are you sure, Mebeth? The midwife in Rackbigger Square mentioned you specifically. Heh. Well, Kojai was me dam's name, and me granddam's name, so it could be any of us. Yet they're both in the dead book, so only this Kosajai remains. Here matters. No idea what she's on about, a midwife in Picker Square, you say? She thinks for a moment. Don't know her, I don't. So you don't have any ink? Well, I can't say that's much of a surprise. I swear Mebeth is having me run around in circles. Let's do this one. Well then, she said you would be able to help me, but if that's not the case, never mind. Now hold on, your midwife friend's not all wrong. I know how you can get ink. It may not be the ink you're looking for. The ink I'm thinking of bleeds from the gills of a Brogoda fin, it does. Brogoda fin bleeds ink? She frowns. Aye, thing is, the fish is not for eating. Got a horrible taste. Scalds the tongue. You can ask Miriam. She pitches her fish cell down the street, the southerly way. She might have one of them fish she needs on her pole.
Updated
I'll go seek her out then. Farewell. Talk to Miriam. This old woman stands silently by the wall, staring off into the distance. She seems to be unconcerned with the flow of traffic around her, and clutches a wooden pole from which dozens of small fish are dangling. Greetings. Oh, hello, sir. She squints at you for a moment, trying to discern your identity. Oh my. Here, I was thinking you one of me regular customers. She proffers her fish pole. Tuna, sir? Mackerel? Sea cucumber? No fish, thanks. I have some questions. Her mouth presses down in a tight-lipped frown, and she stares off over her shoulder. Look behind you, see what she's staring at. You can see nothing of interest behind you. As you turn back to her, you catch her looking at you. She looks away quickly, resuming her staring off into the distance once more. What? Do I look familiar to you? Goodness, no. He pauses for a moment. Aye, you do. Have you seen me before? I think ye are a man with your very likeness, sir. 'Twas so long ago. Tell me. Well, sir, you see, me sight's not so good now. Wasn't back then, neither. But I thought I saw you walking past with a small group trailing behind you. What do these people look like? Hard to say, sir, 'twas so long ago. You walked by so quick-like. But I remember now. The way you held your head up. There was a woman following you, trying to stop you. To get you to turn around, speak to her. She pushed her away. What happened then? Beautiful woman she was. Looked so sad, so angry. All at once. She stood there for a moment, then followed along behind you just the same, hustling to catch up. You had said there was a group? Who else was there? He shrugs. At least 2 other gentlemen with you, sir. The only one I remember too clearly, though, was tall, thin, reeked of bub, he did. I smelled him from across the way. Looked like he hadn't bathed in ages, too. He followed you close, he did. Never said a word. Acted like the woman wasn't even there. Even when she bumped against them, trying to stop you. That's all I remember, sir. Never a copper for time. Oops. Let me check and see if this has any impact. Not immediately seen anything obvious here. South, west. Still doesn't seem to have anything. Tall sir, copper. He smiles and nods to you. Thank you, sir. Have you heard of a pagoda fin? I was told to blink ink from its gills. She blinks, then nods. Aye, that fish? That fish is a strange one, it is. Not many have heard of it, unless they'd want to eat it. Difficult to kill, and even in death, it seems to still live. Not many want to latch their teeth around something that still writhes.
Updated
Yeah,
my journal.
Aye, but the ink. You'll need something to carry it in. Have you a bowl or cup perchance? Or a tankard. Maybe one of the merchants is selling one. Sure, well.
Jellied hydra eyeballs in aspic. Give it a try. It's delicious.
Let's see, anybody got a tankard? Maybe I can, ask him. Yeah, I think I will, be coming back to these people and talking to them. So, check this guy. What do you have? Okay, not him. What about you? This attractive young woman is smiling and beckoning to all the passers-by as she calls out the virtues of her goods. Plates, jugs, cups, tankards. Drink from the goblets of the finest lords. Upon seeing you, she waves you over as if you were an acquaintance. May I see what you're selling? I sell plates, cups, jugs, tankards, cutlery, and the like, sir. All of quality, sir. The finest. She steps back, then lifts the lid of the crate on the wagon. Please look over my goods. Should you have any questions, feel free to ask. I need something to hold ink in. Do you have a tankard? Or a goblet for sale? Oh yes, many kinds, she nods. They range in price from a few copper to several hundred. Actually, I'm looking for the cheapest one you have. She raises an eyebrow. She reaches into a crate at her side, then throws a battered-looking tankard at you, covered in dents, and its handle looks like it's about to fall off. Yeah, this one looks like it was used on someone's skull. She smiles slightly. It'll
Updated
do.
my journal.
Thanks and farewell. She didn't even, like, charge us for it?
Look here, the finest Toledo blade.
I brought a tankard. Can I get the ink from the fish in it? She nods and plucks a fish from her pole. It twitches as she grabs it, then starts lashing about, as if she begins to twist it like a rag. She wrings it until bluish-black ichor begins to trickle from the fish's gills. When your tankard is almost full, she relaxes her grip and throws the twitching fish into a sack at her side.
Updated my
Thanks
journal.
and farewell. Dookie.
All right. I'm gone.
Let's see here. $21.91. Mepith is tugging at the mash of greenish lime starch rags he brought from Giscorel. She seems to be purposefully fraying the edges, as if to peel them apart somehow. When she hears your approach, she turns. Aye, child? Here's the ink you wanted. She takes the tankard of ink from you, then sniffs it. Prime ink, fresh it is, aye. She nods at you. You've done well, child. All I've asked. Now I ask you again, after all you've seen, do you still want to learn the art? Yes, after all, the guiding goal of your errands was to test my persistence, was it not? She smiles, then nods. Yes, mayhap, child, mayhap. And that's not all. You knew who I had to see to accomplish each errand, didn't you? She nods again, slower this time. Mayhap, child, mayhap. If and so, what did your senses tell you about him? Mourns for trees showed me that my beliefs affect the world around me. Giscorel taught me that a ritual is a wasted effort if the purpose of the ritual is ignored. Miriam taught me that no matter how much I think I know, there is still much I can learn from another's eyes. Mebeth is silent for a moment, then she walks slowly over to you and touches you on the cheek. Oh, child, she sighs. You will be a master sorcerer one day, you will. Ye have the knowing of it. You've come to old Mebeth for help you have. What could a midwife teach such a one? Much, Mebeth. I want to learn all that you have to teach. So you'll walk the path then. She pauses. Well, first things first. Just having the knack for the art isn't enough. You need some means of giving it focus. Usually, spells. The spells are usually in a book. The art demands you have a spell book, or it's like, or you can cast spells. Can you read? Yes. Then let's test it. Can you read this? She draws forth a small tattered card. Looks like a recipe. Examine it. The writing on the recipe swims before your eyes, each symbol twisting out of focus whenever you try and read it. Almost instinctively, you relax your eyes, allowing them to take in the page all at once. And the symbols suddenly bleed together. The recipe lists measurements, ingredients. It appears to be some minor divination. This is a minor divination, isn't it? It looks like it's a spell that allows the user to see the nature of an item, to see whether it's enchanted or not. Her eyes will widen. Who are you to test old Mebeth so? Are you some fiend? No. Well, not to my knowledge. What's wrong?
Updated my journal.
Well, not expecting it, was I? She nods at the recipe, then plucks it out of your hand. What you see is written in the language of the art. You're not a mageling yet. It should be all a swirl jumble of mishmash. She snaps her finger. Yet clear as crystal. You pluck the sense of it right up. Mayhap you tell Mibeth why that is. think I may have known once, but forgot. Seeing the symbols just jarred my memory. Or else a natural gift you may have. No matter, no matter. You've just shaved seasons off of your learning you have. She harumphs. And I'd been looking for someone to handle the chores around here I had. If you need help with anything around here, you can still ask. It's the least I can do in exchange for you teaching me. No, don't worry yourself about that. She frowns. Well, you can read spells well enough, but spells are no good without a book to put them in. Do you have one? She glances around the hut, then she catches sight of the black barbed picture frame you made. She picks it up and carefully studies it. This'll do. That thing? Just a frame. Ah, but so are you, child. She holds the frame. She picks up one of the starch rags you got from Gisquirrel with a yank. She pulls off the greenish starched surface film. It flutters in the air like a wispy bit of cloth. Whatever Gisquirrel uses in the wash, it works better than curing, stretching, and stoning does on a normal rag. Can't afford parchment, I can't. Parchment? Oh, wrong thing. She takes the starchy film and pulls it over the black barbed frame, latching the rag's edges onto the hooks around the frame until it looks something like a small greenish-black painter's canvas. It's missing something. Well, I need something painted on it. She nods. I, who are written on it. She takes the tankard of ink you've given her and sets it down next to her. She dips one of her fingernails in the tankard, then draws it out, mumbling to herself. She begins to scratch symbols onto the frame, one by one, still mumbling to herself. Wait. All's done. She stands, drying her ink-stained fingernail on her robe. She tilts her head, regarding the strange framed page in front of her. A page for your spellbook it is. She indicates you should pick it up. Take it. Inside your spellbook are your recipes. Your spells, if you will. As long as they sit in the book, though, they're just words. She taps her head. The art demands you pluck the magic out of the book and put them in your attic. Your head, before you can tap their power. You put them in your attic by studying them, memorizing them. You usually need to rest before you can do this again, though. Any questions? Nope. Oh, no questions, eh? Well, now you should have questions. You know alls about how to memorize spells, do you? You're a sharp one. You don't need any more of Mabeth's words all gobbling up your precious time. You're a master sorcerer already. Huh. Curious if that has, annoying her like that has any impact. Let me check real quick. She asks if he has questions. Say no, but then ask questions anyway. Okay. Forgive me, Mabeth. I meant no questions on what you said. Please explain how to memorize spells. Alright then. Here's the dark of how you memorize. In the spells, pick the spells you want to stick in your head from your spellbook before you go to sleep. When you wake in the morning, they'll be buzzing in your head like flies, ready to be let out. How many spells can I cast? You can cast only one, may have 2 spells before needing to rest again. As a tiny, flitting mageling, there isn't much room in your attic. So use your spells wisely until you get wiser in the art. As your power increases, you'll get more room in your attic for spells. Alright, go on. You can only cast spells you've memorized. So if you want to use the art to say, mend something twice, you need to memorize the spell. How many times? Twice. She nods. Twice. Right enough. How can I get more spells? Mabeth shrugs. Keep your eyes and ears out for learning. Even common folks might know some minor magics to teach. There's also scrolls, recipes, books, and even some stranger items that have spells inscribed on them. If you find one, just examine it close and copy it into your book. If you want it. Got it. I can also show you more spells if you return. Especially when you have a little more of the plains in you. I appreciate it, thanks. Before you go, child, you'll need some magics for you to whet your appetite. She rummages in her robe, then pulls forth 3 small recipes, which she passes to you. You should copy these into your book, so they can go into your attic as soon as possible.
Updated my journal.
Wait, there's more. She fishes a tiny bundle of black cloth from her apron and unrolls it, producing a pair of amber earrings. These will protect you on your travels, child. I no longer wear them myself. So go ahead and take them. Thanks again. Alright, child. Don't tarry here any longer. One such as ye has other ways to spend one's time rather than hang around old Mabeth. Now, come on, Mabeth, you're not old. Ha! Flatterer. Your tongue is so lined with silver. It, shame a batsu. Get your hints. Thanks for everything, Mabeth. Pa, you can thank me by not playing the Addle Cove without what you've learned. The arts damns many a fool who sought to bend it in ways they weren't meant to bend. Now get along with you.
Stronger.
Okay. So, I'm now a mage. And it's like, it's kind of like dual classing. Although not 100%. Some differences. But, go ahead and, save to start off with, and let's go ahead and level up. Okay, so I actually leveled up to level 2 and level 3 there. And I want to test something. Dakan can turn me back to a fighter.
What is your will?
I want to see how many, I'm gonna see how much experience I have. Okay, so it does seem to keep the exact amount of experience. That's good, because I think I am gonna want to get up to level 6 as a fighter. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to try. Okay. Okay. Then, oh, it's interesting that I kept this ink-filled tankard. Wait, I thought she gave me earrings. But I don't see them in my inventory. Let me check and make sure that's not a bug. Keep asking questions and she will give you 3 more recipes as well as a set of amber earrings. Oh wait, did I like, oh, I loaded an, oh, I just loaded the wrong game. Quick loads your quick save, not your most recent save. Yeah, there we go. Okay, makes more sense. Okay, amber earrings usable only by mages and only by me. These earrings are made from hardened sap of the razor vine. When properly prepared, items made from this substance can be enchanted with powerful spells. Protection. Okay, so Chromatic Orb. Blood Bridge. I don't know if that's actually useful. Identify. Okay, I might as well learn one identify spell. Let me see what this, so one thing which I want to avoid doing is, Double learning spells, because, like, for instance, this is like the same thing as magic missile. And for instance, I don't know if one of his spells is also chromatic orb, for instance. Doesn't look like it, but I'll okay, hold on, let me I think what I'll do is wait on learning any spells for just a moment. A lot of the items here we can't use anymore. I can use this now. And I'll be able to use these. I guess the good thing is these recipes don't, like, it teaches me chromatic orb, not something which is chromatic orb just by another name. So that's nice.
I hear
okay.
your words.
So let me talk to Dakan now that I'm a mage. Can I talk to you about your teachings? Can you teach me anything of the art? Know that the way of the people is not the same as the art you have come to know. It is not the energy that gives strength. It is knowing the self that gives strength. The teachings of Zerthamon speak of such things. Would you teach me the way of Zerthamon, Dakan? Do you know what you have asked? The texture of Dakan's blade flows until it becomes a stone. To walk the path of Zerthamon, you must know the people. The knowing of such things by one not of the people is a difficult matter. There are those not of the people who have heard the way of Zerthamon, but they do not know the way. Dakan, I want to know of the people, and know Zerthamon's teachings. I believe there is wisdom to be learned in such things.
Updated my journal.
Know that I have heard your words and I shall test them. To learn, you must know the people. To know the people, you must know the unbroken circle of Zerthamon. Dakan holds up the stone disc in his possession. In his spider-like fingers, the hook into its sides. There is a click, and the plates of the circle slide into their new configuration. He reverses the motion, sealing the stone. Know the first circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it. I wish I could read. This game seems cool. Well, that's what I'm here for. You can just listen to me. No, the first circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it, and then I will hear your words. I will read the first circle then. In the meantime, I had other things I would know. Okay. Okay, so now I can click on this and use it. This small round stone of the is the unbroken circle of Zerthamon. It is made up of a series of interlocking circles that fold out from one another. The complexity of the plates and the intricacy of their links prove the text was constructed by a master artisan. Got such a soothing voice. Thank you. Lock the first plate as Dakan showed you. You mirror the motions that Dakan made upon the circle, and the plates give way at your touch, the rings sliding into a new configuration. Upon the rings are a series of symbols. The script is like no writing you have ever seen. It is a series of interlocking geometries, with circles predominating. Just looking at it, you know the symbols, and know you can read them. Read the first circle. Know that we are the first people. Once, while all was chaos, the first people were thought drawn from chaos. When the first people came to know themselves, They were chaos no longer, and became flesh. With their thoughts and knowing of matter, the people shaped the first world and dwelled there with their knowing to sustain them. Yet the flesh was new to the people, and with it, the people came not to know themselves. The flesh gave rise to new thoughts, greed and hate, hates, pains and joys, jealousies and doubts. All of these fed on each other, and the minds of the people were divided. In their division, the people were punished. The emotions of the flesh were strong, the greed and hates, the pains and joys, the jealousies and doubts. All of these served as a guiding stone to enemies. In becoming flesh, the first people became enslaved to those who knew flesh only as tools for their will. No, these beasts were illithids. The illithids were a race that had come not to know themselves. They had learned how to make other races not know themselves. They were the tentacled ones. They lived in flesh and saw flesh as tools for their will. Their blood was as water, and they shaped the minds with their thoughts. When the illithids came upon the people were a people no more. The people became slaves. The illithids took the people from the first world and brought them to false worlds. As the people labored upon the false worlds, the illithids taught them the way of the flesh. Through them, the people came to know loss. They came to know suffering. They came to know death, both of the body and mind. They came to know what it is to be the herd of another and have their flesh consumed. They came to know the horror of being made to feel joy in such things. The unbroken circle is the knowing of how the people lost themselves and how they came to know themselves again. So we can now talk to Dekon after having read the first circle. I read the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon. I wanted to speak to you about the way. So when you get through this part, this is a check on your wisdom. So by having a really high wisdom, I can go through a lot of these all at once. But like, if you had started with less wisdom in the game, like added to it as you go along, this could be something that you like do throughout the course of the game. Strength lies in knowing oneself. I learned that when someone does not know themselves, they are lost. They become a tool for others.
Updated my journal.
You have come to know the first circle of Zerthamon. You not only see the words of Zerthamon, you have come to know them. The Khan holds up the circle and hooks his finger along the edges. There's a click, and the plates slide into a new configuration. He reverses the motion, sealing the stone. No, the second circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it, and I will hear your words. The second circle. Unlock the second. You slide the plates into the configuration Dakan showed you, and a new ring is revealed. Read the second circle. Know that flesh cannot mark steel. Know that steel may mark flesh. And knowing this, Zerthamon became free. Know that the tentacled ones were flesh. They relied on the flesh and used it as tools of their will. One of the places where flesh served their will was the fields of husks on the false worlds of the Illithids. The fields were where the bodies of the people were cast after the Illithids had consumed their brains. When the brain had been devoured, the husks came to be fertilizer to grow the poison-stemmed grasses of the Illithids. Zerthamon worked the fields with no knowing of himself, or what he had become. He was a tool of flesh, and the flesh was content. It was upon these fields that Zerthamon came to know the scripture of steel. During one of the turnings, as Zerthamon tilled the fields with his hands, he came across a husk whose brain remained within. It had not been used as food, yet it was dead. The thought that one of the husks had died, a death without serving as food for the Illithids, was a thought Zerthamon had difficulty understanding. From that thought came a desire to know what had happened to the husk. 1 second. Embedded in the skull of the husk was a steel blade. It had pierced the bone. Zerthamon realized that that was what had killed the husk. The steel had marked the flesh, but the flesh had not marked the steel. Zerthamon took the blade and studied its surface. In it, he saw his reflection. It was in the reflection of the steel that Zerthamon first knew himself. Its edge was sharp. Its will the wearer's. It was the blade that would come to be raised against Gith when Zerthamon made the pronouncement of 2 skies. Zerthamon kept the blade for many turnings, and many were the thoughts he had about it. He used it in the field to aid his work. In using it, he thought about how it was not used. The Illithids were powerful. Zerthamon had believed that there was nothing they did not know. Yet the Illithids never carried tools of steel. They only used flesh as tools. Everything was done through flesh. For the tentacled ones were made of flesh, and they knew flesh. Yet steel was superior to flesh. When the blade had killed the husk, it was the flesh that had been the weaker than the steel. It was then that Zerthamon came to know flesh yielded to steel, and knowing that, he came to know that the steel was stronger than the Illithids. Illithids are tight, you just like tentacles, Cass. Finish reading the symbols. Steel became the scripture of the people. Know that the steel is the scripture by which the people came to know freedom. No! I know all about it.
What is your will?
I learned that not knowing something can be a tool, just like flesh and steel, if upon encountering it, you attempt to know its nature, and how it came to be. You have seen the words, and you have seen beyond them. You have come to know the second circle of Zerthamon. He takes the circle. With a deft motion, he twists one of the links, so one of the plates slides forth. But strangely enough, the stone still appears intact. He hands the plate to you. Meditate upon this teaching, and the knowing of it shall give you strength. When you have absorbed it, you shall know more. His fingers feel around the edges of the stone, and he twists it clockwise, the links clicking until they have settled into a new configuration. Okay.
I feel stronger.
Leveled up. Until we reach the level that we were before, we won't get, we won't be able to, add stat points. 0 characteristic points gained. That's that piece. I think I also got a, item, yeah, second circle of Zerthamon, copy spell, Scripture of Steel. So, what does that one do? So this lasts 30 seconds. All creatures, so this is basically bless. +1 to hit, +1 to saving throws. 30 seconds. So I can learn that. I have quite a few level 1 slots. Okay. Unlock the third circle. Let's read it. Zerthamon labored many turn-ins for the Illithid. Arlothi twice deceased in his partnership in the cavernous heavens of the false worlds. His duties would have broken the backs of many others, but Zerthamon labored on, suffering torment and exhaustion. It came to pass that the Illithid Arlothi twice deceased ordered Zerthamon before him in his many-veined galleria. He claimed that Zerthamon had committed slights of obstinance and cowardice against his partnership. The claim had no weight of truth, for Arlothi only wished to know If flames raged within Zerthamon's heart. He wished to know if Zerthamon's heart was one of a slave or of a rebel. Zerthamon surrendered to the Illithid punishment rather than reveal his newfound strength. He knew that if he were to show the hatred in his heart, it would serve nothing, and it would harm others that felt as he. He chose to endure the punishment, and was placed within the pillars of silence so he might suffer for returning. Lashed upon the pillars, Zerthamon moved his mind to a place where pain could not reach, leaving his body behind. He lasted a turning, and when he was brought before Arlothi twice deceased, he gave gratitude for his punishment to the Illithid as was custom. In doing so, he proved himself a slave in the Illithid eyes, while his heart remained free. By enduring and quenching the fires of his hatred, he allowed Arlothi twice deceased to think him weak. When the time of the rising came, Arlothi was the first of the Illithid to know death by Zerthamon's hand, and die a third death.
What is
Got
your
an ad coming
will?
up in a few minutes here. Probably take a break when the next conversation pause happens naturally. So, talk to him. What did you come to know about this circle? Endure, and enduring goes so strong. The words you speak seem to strike Dakan strangely. As you speak them, his forehead creases, then resettles into its normal passive expression. Hey, Tony. Yeah, we're on vacation. Your will has brought you the knowing of the third circle of Zerthamon. With this knowing, I impart this to you. He takes the circle with a deft motion. He twists one of the links so one of the plates slides forth. He hands the plate to you. Meditate upon its teachings, and the knowing of it shall give you strength. Is there more you can teach me? As you ask the words, you suddenly notice that Dakan isn't looking at you. He is holding the unbroken circle in his hand, studying it. Blade has taken on the same texture as the circle, and Dakan suddenly seems older somehow. Dakan's black eyes raise from the circle and look upon you. Know that I did not believe you would come to know the teachings of this circle. It is a difficult path you will walk in learning the way of Zerthamon. Is your mind focused on this matter? Yes, I wish to learn more. His fingers feel around the edges of the stone circle and twist it clockwise, the links clicking until they have settled into a new configuration. He then reverses the motion, resetting the stone. The next circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it, and I will hear your words. Very well. I'll read it and speak to you again. Okay. Go ahead and take a break now. The ads will start in a couple minutes, and I'll be back after them.